The amazing power of positive thinking. Introduction. Positive thinking does not come naturally to many people. In fact, for most of us, the first thing that comes to mind whenever we encounter challenges are negative thoughts. We think about what has happened, and then we think about who is to blame for the things that have gone wrong. Maybe your first instinct is to complain about things, to lash out at other people instead of looking at what you yourself have done. Ask yourself if you want to be around people like that. People who are so negative that they basically drag down everyone around them. With negativity practically oozing out of their pores, I bet you wouldn't want to be around these people. So, don't be one of them. You have to make a conscious effort to direct your thoughts from the negative to the positive. It's hard if you're just starting out, but with enough time and practice, you'll find yourself thinking positive most, if not all, of the time. If you want to change the way you are and become a more positive-minded person, you're in luck. This massive guide will help you learn how to think positively. You're going to learn the importance of having positive thoughts and why you shouldn't let negativity take over. You'll learn what differentiates happy, positive people from negative ones. You'll discover why positive thinkers end up succeeding while most negative thinkers fail to achieve their dreams. This guide is designed to help you become a better, more positive person. Someone who would like to be around so they too can soak in your positivity. Be the one who makes a difference to the people around you. When you've mastered positive thinking, you'll end up happier, healthier, and more fulfilled than you've ever felt in your life. Chapter 1: Overcoming Doubt and Negative Thinking Now. Doubt kills more dreams than failure. Susie Kassem. To start on the road to mastering the skill of positive thinking, it is necessary to get rid of all traces of doubt and negative thinking as soon as possible. If you keep doubting yourself, you will never amount to anything in life. You will probably end up living a mediocre and unhappy life. Too scared to step out of your comfort zone. Too scared to face the reality that failure is a necessary, an important, step towards success. Doubters will doubt themselves. They will doubt the people around them. They will doubt everything and everyone. These people are depressive. They literally make everyone around them suffer just to be around them. Does this sound familiar? I hope you don't. No one wants to be around a Debbie Downer, so you definitely shouldn't want to be one. Like most things in life, overcoming self-doubt and negative thoughts is easier said than done. Sure, it's easy to utter positive words when you need to. But deep down you know your first instinct is to say something gloomy or depressing. You need to put an end to your destructive inner voice right now. Here are 10 powerful ways you can get started with eliminating the negativity in your life so you can move forward and move up. Leave the past behind. The past is gone, it's over. You can try all you want, but you can never turn back the clock. Look at the present without letting your past cloud your judgment. If you can't move forward because the past is holding you back, then you seriously need to rethink your life. What happened in the past needs to stay in the past. If you continue to let it affect you, your future may not be what you want. Learn from your mistakes. One thing people often overlook is the fact that mistakes happen. Of course, you can have the best plans, but sometimes you can't prevent mistakes from happening. Mistakes, whether big or small, are inevitable. But don't let that deter you. Don't think that because you've made a mistake in the past, you can no longer succeed at the same task or project. No, you have to stop thinking that way. Otherwise, you'll only be proving your inner critic right. Stop focusing on what's wrong. Whenever a problem arises, you probably try to find out what is wrong. This behavior is totally normal. How can you fix problems if you don't know what caused them in the first place? But obsessing over those mistakes, especially if you're the one who caused them, is simply wrong. If you don't stop berating yourself, you won't be able to move forward to fix the problem. Have a little faith in yourself. A little positive encouragement will help boost your confidence. Don't blame others. A negative person's first reaction to problems is to find out who has made a mistake. He or she will then go out and attack that person in private or in public. A positive person, on the other hand, will also try to find out who made the mistake. But instead of focusing on the person, he will use his energy to try to solve the problem at hand. When the problem has been solved and dealt with, they will turn back to the person who made the mistake. Instead of reprimanding them, they will give constructive feedback to help them avoid making the same mistake in the future. Tell yourself to stop. When you know that your thoughts are spiraling into negativity, you must rebuke yourself immediately. That's why self-knowledge is so important. You can identify the exact moment when your inner self-destructive twin rears its ugly head. When you realize where your thoughts are going, tell yourself to stop. Take a deep breath. Go for a walk to clear your head, or do whatever you need to do to quiet that inner voice. Enlist the help of positive people. It's good to have friends, but having positive friends you can trust is even better. A positive person will help you overcome your negative thoughts. They will cheer you up when you're feeling down. They will look at your problems from an objective point of view, so you can see the bright side too. Your negative friends will not do the same for you. Instead of cheering you up, they will probably try to bring you down even further. They will feed off your negative thoughts and spread even more negativity to you. Start writing a diary. Keeping a journal is a great way to write down your thoughts. When you feel bad, write it down. In the same entry, write down your positive responses to your negative thoughts. Think about how you can turn a negative situation into a positive one. Then highlight the positive notes in your journal. That way, when you feel down again, you can easily find the positive entries to help cheer you up. In addition, you can also use your journal to write down all the good things you currently have. Whether it's your job, your pet, your family, or the latest gadget you've been saving up for months, write it down if it makes you happy and makes you think positive thoughts. Consider failure as an opportunity to learn. Failure is not the big bad wolf you probably think it is. Sure, failing big can seem scary. It's something you probably never want to experience. But think about how many times successful entrepreneurs have failed before they succeeded. The truth is, successful people have probably failed more times than you can imagine. It may sound silly, but it's true. Successful people view failure as a stepping stone to success. Win or lose, they get something out of the experience. Enjoy your achievements, no matter how small they may be. You cannot belittle your accomplishments. No big thing can be completed without its many small parts. If your goal is to be a millionaire in a year, be thankful if you make a profit. Big dreams start small. Break your big goals into mini goals. That's how you make success look easy. Every time you achieve a mini goal, celebrate it. Don't think of it as just a small victory. Don't forget that small victories often lead to big ones. Enjoy every step of the process and keep taking one positive step at a time. Adjust as necessary. Your dreams and goals are not set in stone. You can define them however you want, after all they are yours. But if something happens along the way and you can't achieve your dreams exactly as you had hoped, don't worry. Sometimes you have to adapt and adjust. When you first planned your steps toward achieving your goals, you may not have taken into account some important factors. You've come a long way, you don't want to fall apart now. Think about the alternatives and how they may be better than what you initially expected. Chapter 2: The Power of Positive Thinking. The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Winston Churchill. Positive thinkers achieve a lot in their lives. Negative thinkers, on the other hand, tend to remain in the shadows. They live mediocre lives, seemingly suspended in a dreamless state, unable to go further in life. Positive people can make positive changes in themselves and their environment. They brighten a room simply by being in it. Other people gravitate toward them because they know they will benefit from them, whether with words of encouragement or a simple smile. When you learn to think positively, you will see the difference between your old self and your new self. The difference is like night and day. When all you can think are negative thoughts, you never see the light. But when you start to see things positively, no matter how negative they may seem, then you will have a little light shining, and you will be able to see clearly even in the dark. Thinking positive helps you see the light. It helps you look beyond the darkness. Even if you encounter darkness from time to time, you know that there will always be light nearby. You look for that light and let it shine in the darkness. You watch the black slowly dissipate and turn into light. That's the awesome power of positive thinking. Here's how you can transform your life with the power of positive thinking. Think about what you want to achieve and why. We all have hopes and dreams in life. However, sometimes we get so depressed that we think we will never be able to achieve what we set out to do. The best way to combat this is to remind yourself why you chose that goal or dream. Have you chosen it for yourself? For your family? For your beloved community? Who will benefit from your success? Put things in perspective and you'll be encouraged to continue what you've started. You'll probably still doubt yourself from time to time, but don't let that cloud your path to success. Do everything in your power to achieve your goals. There are many ways to achieve your goals in life. You can break down your goals into mini-goals to make it easier for you to achieve something. When you achieve a milestone, treat yourself to a job well done. You don't need to splurge on expensive items, sometimes a candy bar can be enough. Just remember not to reward yourself with something that will prevent you from achieving your goals. For example, if you are trying to lose weight, you shouldn't treat yourself to a meal at your favorite restaurant. Talk to yourself out loud. Listening to your own voice can sometimes do wonders for your thoughts. When talking to yourself, try not to be too loud, especially if you are in public and have other people within earshot. People may think you're crazy. It's okay to speak in public, you just have to learn to modulate your voice so you don't get stared at. But when you're alone, and negativity starts creeping in again, then talking to yourself out loud is no problem. If you've never tried this trick, you may be in for a surprise. A stern rebuke from you will help you quiet your inner critic. You can verbally direct your negative thoughts and steer them into a more positive line of thinking. Learn to say yes. Learning to say yes is important. If you're the shy type and always hear the word no in your head, then it's time to change. You may even be surrounded by people whose favorite word is no. Ignore them, especially if you know you're doing the right thing. When you learn to say yes, you become more positive and start to enjoy life a little more each day. Over time, you'll be able to add more positive words to your vocabulary. Don't get me wrong, the word no is just as important as yes. It really all depends on the situation. The point is, you're not going to be tied to your comfort zone, too scared to pursue your dreams simply because you're held hostage to the word no. Drown out your negative inner voice with positivity. The best way to block your negative inner voice is to replace it with a positive one. If your inner voice points out all the negative things about something, point out the positive. Talk to yourself. Being objective is not the same as being negative. Weigh the pros and cons if necessary. But don't focus solely on the cons, especially if you know that the pros far outweigh the cons. Always look for positive things. You're likely to be filled with negative things as soon as you wake up or step out of your comfort zone. Don't worry. There are always two sides to a coin, never forget that. When life presents you with the negative side, try to turn it around until you get to the positive side and then focus on it. This is how successful people deal with negativity, by looking for the positive side. There's always a silver lining somewhere. You may not see it at first glance, but sooner or later it will let you know. Be truly happy for the success of others. One of the things negative people fixate on is jealousy of the success of others. They often compare themselves to successful people. Just because their friends have made a name for themselves and are now success stories, they start feeling sorry for themselves. If you think like that, you need to put a stop to it right now. You have to see the hard work that successful people put into their craft. It's not like their success has been handed to them on a silver platter. Don't be bitter if your friends can no longer hang out with you as often as you'd like. It just means you have to start living your own life. You have more than enough blessings in your life. Sometimes your negativity gets the best of you, and you don't see what's right in front of you. You are so consumed with jealousy, disappointment, sadness, and anger that you take for granted all the blessings you have in your life. You only realize what was in front of you when you have lost it. Before you get to that point, look around you and be grateful for all the blessings you currently have. Practice positive affirmations. Positive affirmations work when you believe in them. If you don't, then you are simply uttering meaningless words. Affirmations help motivate you and encourage you to keep going against all odds. For example, your positive affirmation might be something like, "I will not let the negative energies around me affect my mood or get me down." Or how about, "I am not a procrastinator. I'm going to finish all the tasks on my to-do list today because it's the right thing to do." Think happy thoughts and be happy. Happy thoughts usually lead to happy feelings. That's why remembering fun, happy times is always a great idea when you're feeling down. You can remember the wind in your hair when you were driving with the top down. You can smell the ocean breeze when you went on that ocean cruise last year. Always have something nearby to help you remember the happy thoughts to chase away the bad ones. Little things like this can help you with your positive thoughts. Chapter 3: Powerful Habits that Lead to Positive Thinking. I have learned that champions are not born, champions can be made when they adopt and commit to positive, life-changing habits. Lewis Howes. Our habits define us. When you develop positive habits, you become a positive person. However, if most of your habits are bad or negative, you are probably not the kind of positive person people would want to be around. Habits don't appear overnight. You have to perform specific actions consciously and repeatedly over a period of time. When it becomes part of your routine without you needing to think about it, then that action has finally become a habit. Undoing negative habits and replacing them with positive ones will take time. First, you will have to consciously work to forget the old habits. It will be very difficult at first. In fact, many experts say that undoing or stopping a habit is more difficult than working on a new one. What you can do is try to associate a bad habit with a good one. For example, if you have picked up the habit of smoking right after a heavy meal, then you can replace the smoking habit with chewing a piece of gum or taking a light walk around your neighborhood. You have to be self-aware at all times if you want to undo a negative habit and replace it with a more positive one. Now, there are many positive habits you can try to develop. The habits listed below are by no means exhaustive, but they should help you get started in thinking positively. Get enough sleep. I'm sure you've had a night where you had to stay up late and get up very early the next day. Maybe it was while working on a very important school project, or revising for an important exam, or working overtime for your job. Do you remember how you felt when you woke up? Did you feel good? I bet you didn't. I bet your head probably felt like it was going to split in two. When you don't get enough sleep, you feel tired. You feel cranky. You feel sore all over. It's a bad tone for the whole day. That's why it's important to get enough sleep. You'll feel refreshed, energized, and much more positive throughout the day. Exercise regularly. People exercise for a variety of reasons. Whether it's to lose weight or to get a little extra energy, exercising should be part of your daily routine. You don't need to go for a 10-mile run every day. But you should at least try to take a walk, or anything that gets you out of your chair, to burn some calories. Rest is also important, so remember not to push your body too hard. For best results, it's best to consult with an expert to find the best exercise program for your needs. That said, working out will help you feel much better about yourself. You won't hate yourself so much and you'll know that you're doing something to achieve your goals. That's positive thinking. Establish a morning ritual habit. To have a morning habit, you're going to need the discipline to teach yourself to get up early. If you normally get up in the middle of the day, it's going to be difficult. Even more so if you're a night owl. The benefits of having a morning ritual habit cannot be ignored. Most of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and CEOs have a morning ritual habit. They get up early in the morning so they can plan their day. They find time to exercise or update their diary. They plan their day with their to-do lists and calendars. They get a lot done before their family and neighbors get out of bed. Take care of your hygiene. Taking care of the body is very important. After all, we only have one body in this life. If you abuse it, it won't last long. When your body fails, you leave this world forever. It may sound morbid, but you know it's true. Taking care of your body starts with proper hygiene. Parents instill good hygiene in their children. But, over time, we become lazy and start neglecting basic and proper hygiene, which leads to illness and disease. Having good personal hygiene habits doesn't just mean looking good on the outside. It also means feeling good on the inside. When you feel good both inside and out, and you are not worried about different ailments, then you will be more likely to have positive thoughts. Start reading good books. Education doesn't end at school, and reading doesn't stop the moment you leave school forever. Our brains are made to absorb knowledge. If you want to achieve something, you're going to have to broaden your horizons. You want to develop new skills and acquire new knowledge. Many successful entrepreneurs find time to read a book now and then. They have a habit of absorbing knowledge whenever they can. Knowing new things opens up the world. It makes you think of possibilities. It makes you more optimistic, and you learn about new opportunities along the way. Being financially healthy. If financial problems constantly plague you, it will be a challenge to think positive. But it can be done. Many people have gone from bankruptcy to immense wealth. They probably felt sorry for themselves at first, but then they threw those negative thoughts out the window and worked to achieve their dreams. Get in the habit of learning about personal finance. Learn to save regularly. Study how you can make your money work for you even while you sleep, so you don't have to spend the rest of your life trading your time for money. Financial independence is possible, you just need to have some healthy financial habits and a good dose of positive thinking. Do something nice every day. Being kind goes a long way toward encouraging and making others feel good about themselves. Help those who really need help, whether they ask for it or not. Many people still have pride even though they are going through some soul-crushing challenges right now. If you know they could use a kind word or a hug, do it. Maybe you can buy them lunch or dinner, or just listen to them vent to you. An act of kindness lets others know the kind of person you are, a helpful, kind, positive human being. Practice mindfulness. Being mindful means being aware of what is happening at that very moment. But with so many distractions in our environment, practicing mindfulness is easier said than done. If you want to be more mindful, you are going to have to make it a habit to find a quiet place to focus on your breathing. 10 to 15 minutes at a time is enough. Over time, once you get into the habit of being mindful, you will find it much easier to block out unwanted distractions so that you can focus on what is around you at that very moment. Stop procrastinating. If you constantly procrastinate, it is probably so ingrained in you that it has become a habit. There is nothing good about procrastinating. This bad habit has to go. The point is, you can't stop procrastinating. It's going to be a work in progress. You have to make the conscious effort to stop when you know you're going to procrastinate again. With time and repetition, you're going to be able to overcome this habit, and you'll be able to do what needs to be done without resorting to stalling tactics. Laugh when you can. They say laughter is the best medicine. It brings out feelings of joy not only in you, but also in others. Putting on a straight face all the time is exhausting. Let your funny side come out once in a while too. No one wants to be around someone dull. You'll be known as the party pooper. Haven't you noticed that it's always the fun people who seem to be the life of the party? We gravitate towards them, don't we? We feel so much better when we laugh, so try to make it a habit to laugh many times a day. You'll feel like the weight of the world is off your shoulders when you're shaking with laughter. Chapter 4, Belief and Self-Confidence can help you become a more positive person. Fake it until you make it. Act like you have all the confidence you need until it becomes your reality. Brian Tracy. A little positive thinking goes a long way, especially if you believe in yourself and have a lot of self-confidence. When you go through difficult times, no one is exempt. Your self-confidence will always put you back on the right track. No matter how rich or poor you are, at some point you will encounter something that will hurt, sadden, disappoint, stress or anger you. These feelings are absolutely normal. You don't have to be ashamed to admit your negative feelings to yourself. But the difference between positive thinkers and negative thinkers is that negative thinkers will let these negative feelings persist. They will let these feelings consume their whole being. They will live their lives in the shadow of their negative emotions. Positive thinkers, on the other hand, will take all these events in stride. They know that they are nothing more than normal. It's all part of the grand plan called life. They may also suffer, but they will always recover. They will not remain depressed for long periods of time. If you want to become a better version of yourself, you are going to have to develop a love for yourself. If you already love yourself, then fine. You'll find it easier to believe in yourself and what you can do. The transition from being a shy person to one brimming with self-confidence will also be easier. Here are some ways to boost your self-esteem and self-confidence. Have a solid plan for what you want to do. To increase your self-confidence, you have to have a solid plan for what you want to achieve. You have to have a solid foundation in order to navigate your way to success. If you don't plan for your dreams, it will be easy to blame your lack of preparation as the cause of your failure. It will be very easy to crawl back into your comfort zone. But if you have a solid plan, you can't turn your back on it, especially if you've spent a lot of time working on that plan. Being accountable to yourself and to someone else will also help. They will encourage you, which will help you believe that you can achieve your dreams. Commit yourself to improve as a person. When you have low self-confidence and low self-esteem, you try to avoid stepping out of your comfort zone. You're afraid to take a risk and fail. You don't want to be laughed at. You don't believe you can succeed. In fact, you've convinced yourself that you're happy where you are now. However, deep down you know that you're not and that you want something more out of your life. Obviously, this type of mindset reeks of negativity. If you want to transform yourself into a more positive individual, you have to believe that you can do it. You have to trust yourself. You have to commit 100%. You can't not give it your all. Otherwise, you're only going to fail. Once you commit to improving your mindset, you will experience many positive changes in your life. Think about your strengths and recognize your weaknesses. We all have our strengths and our Achilles heel. To become a positive thinker, you're going to have to play to your strengths. You're going to have to use them to your advantage. If you have the right skill set, you can succeed in your chosen path in the shortest possible time. However, if you lack the right skills, that's a major weakness. But it's not the end of the world. You can still train and work to develop that vital skill necessary for your success. Encourage yourself to keep moving forward and do your best to turn your weakness into one of your strengths. Confront and overcome your fears. You can't have confidence in yourself if you don't face your fears and overcome them. That's going to hold you back. Likewise, you're never going to have a firm belief in yourself if you can't even find the courage to face what you're afraid of. If you want to succeed in life, you will have to face your dragons. Face them and defeat them. Control your imagination, don't let it run wild. Don't think about the what ifs. Don't entertain such thoughts. Otherwise, they will paralyze you and prevent you from going for your dreams. Instead of having negative thoughts, try to project positive thoughts. Think about what will happen when you finally overcome your fears. You will finally have the freedom to go after your goals. Set small goals and do everything in your power to achieve them. Big goals are hard, especially if you are a newbie or still trying to find your way in the real world. If your goal is too big for you right now, if you think it will overwhelm you, then you should break your goal into smaller ones. For example, if you hope to live in your dream home in 5 years, think about how you're going to get there. Turn each step into a milestone. You could say your first milestone is to get a job that pays you a good amount that will allow you to save a significant amount of money. Your second milestone can be a certain amount of money that is deposited in the bank once a month. After 5 years, you will have saved a considerable amount that will be enough to build or buy the house of your dreams. Don't forget to celebrate each milestone. Each small accomplishment will help motivate you to work on the next milestone and the next. Before you know it, you'll have crossed everything off your list and finally achieved your dream. Chapter 5: Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself only with people who elevate you the most. Oprah Winfrey. Every day you meet all kinds of people, some are positive, some are negative. Some are positive, some are negative. What kind of people would you like to hang out with, the negative ones that are going to ruin the rest of your day, or the positive ones that are going to cheer you up and put a smile on your face? I'm sure you'll choose the latter. After all, why would you want to ruin your day? But how do you know who is negative and who is a positive thinker? Luckily, it's pretty easy to tell which group a person belongs to. Now, this doesn't mean that just because a person is a negative thinker at this very moment, doesn't mean that they are going to be a negative thinker for the rest of their life. Family will always remain family, no matter how negative a family member may be. And friendships, especially lasting ones, should be cherished. People change, so there is always the possibility that negative thinkers can become positive. If you have loved ones who are still stuck in negativity, don't lose hope. They can still recover and come through to the other side. Maybe you can even influence them and show them the light. So, here are 10 characteristics of happy, positive people, the kind of people you should spend time with. No hard feelings. One characteristic that separates negative thinkers from positive thinkers is that negative thinkers hold grudges. They can't seem to forgive and forget. Positive thinkers, on the other hand, understand that forgiving and forgetting consumes much less energy than holding grudges. However, sometimes forgetting is simply impossible, especially if you have been wronged in a major way. But forgiving the person who has wronged or harmed you is necessary if you want to have closure and finally have peace of mind. Focus on the good. Good and bad things happen to everyone. However, positive thinkers don't dwell on the bad things. Often, no matter how bad or catastrophic an event is, something good always seems to come out of it, or even because of it. As the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining. Negative thinkers often overlook the silver lining. But positive thinkers actively seek it out, because they know it is waiting for an opportunity to present itself. They are not afraid of failure. No one can say that he or she has not experienced failures in life. The truth is that no one is exempt from failure. However, positive people react differently to failure than their negative counterparts. Instead of shying away from failure, they will look for the reason they failed so they can learn from it. And the next time they attempt the same task, they will be more likely to succeed. Negative thinkers, however, will be too afraid to take risks simply because they can't bear the thought of falling flat on their faces and being embarrassed in front of their peers. They make other people feel happy. You probably know some people who feel so comfortable in their skin that they literally glow with happiness. When you are around them, you feel their happiness, and you can feel yourself start to feel happy and energetic too. When someone is happy, you feel happy too. Positive people seem to have a talent for uplifting everyone around them. And you know they are truly happy. It's very easy to act and pretend to be happy, but people are pretty good at detecting fake happiness. Truly happy and positive people have a different aura. They give off such positive vibes that you can't help but feel positive too. Treat everyone with kindness. Positive people are kinder and more compassionate to others. They share their blessings with the people around them. They volunteer their time and money to help those less fortunate. Some may not have material wealth, but they still find time to utter a kind word or two to lift someone's spirits. When you are surrounded by kind, positive people, their compassion tends to rub off on you. You see the world through their eyes and feel compelled to help others. You build strong relationships with the people you help, and you spread love and positivity with every random act of kindness you perform. Live in the present. In addition to holding grudges, negative people also tend not to live in the now. They remain so obsessed with what has happened in the past that they can't seem to get over it. Positive people have a past, but they are not chained to it. On the contrary, they are very involved in what is happening right now and live in the present. Do not speak ill of others. Negative people, as you probably know very well, are very fond of talking bad about other people. They will put a smile on their face when you are in front of them, but the moment you turn your back on them, they will talk and gossip about you. Positive people, however, make it a point to say only nice words about others. Sure, they may know a lot of rotten eggs, but they don't tarnish or destroy these people's reputations just because they have someone to chat with. Dreaming big. Positive thinkers don't limit themselves to their comfort zones. They are not afraid to dream big. They are not afraid to fail, so they can literally go for their dreams however they want. Unlike negative thinkers, who doubt that they will succeed at anything, positive thinkers think, well, positively. They plan their steps in order to achieve their goals. Unhindered by negativity, positive thinkers have the power to succeed at whatever they set their minds to. Rarely complain. When something bad happens, people inevitably complain. However, negative thinkers are the ones who complain the most and for far too long, perhaps even after the problem has been resolved. They do nothing to help solve the problems, but they do let the world know how uncomfortable it has been for them. Positive thinkers may complain from time to time, but instead of dwelling on the problem, they look for ways to solve it. They help solve problems, offer suggestions, and proactively try to resolve them to make sure they don't happen again. Have positive habits. As you learned earlier, habits define an individual. Positive people have good habits, and negative people have bad habits. Creating new habits takes time, and undoing old, bad habits takes more. Learn from positive people. What are the habits that separate them from negative people? Chances are they don't indulge in self-destructive activities that have an adverse effect on their health. Instead, they have developed habits that improve their productivity and further fuel their positivity. Chapter 6: A little humor goes a long way. Good humor is a tonic for the mind and body. It is the best antidote to anxiety and depression. It is an asset to business. It attracts and keeps friends. It lightens human burdens. It is the direct path to serenity and contentment. Grenville Kleiser. Imagine life without humor. How do you think it feels? Empty? Sad? Boring? What about when you're surrounded by humorless people all the time? People who are dour and unsmiling 24 hours a day? People who keep a stony face even though those around them are laughing their heads off? Would you want to be around people like that? Probably not. On the other hand, think about people who see the humor in everything. The people who can see through the darkness and find a way to bring back the light. The people who aren't afraid to look at themselves through someone else's eyes, and then are able to laugh at themselves and let others laugh with them. This is the interesting part. Humor is one of the first traits to be cut off the moment life becomes difficult and challenging. In our daily struggle to beat life, to keep hunger and defeat at bay, we often substitute humor for seriousness. Now, there's nothing wrong with being serious, but you can't totally replace humor with something akin to vitriol. For example, haven't you noticed that those who have forgotten to laugh are the ones who tend to look much older than their age? And those who embrace life and laugh heartily look younger than their years? It's amazing, isn't it? To look younger, you just have to relearn how to laugh, and laugh often. That said, here are some ways having a sense of humor can help you generate a more positive mindset. It is a great anti-stress. Whether you like it or not, life will always find a way to make you feel stressed. You could give yourself massages and practice meditation every day, but outside forces will always try to box you into a stressful situation. But don't worry. If you have a sense of humor, you will be able to laugh it off. You'll probably say to yourself, "Oh, hello, stress. It's good to see you again." Some people won't find it funny, but if you do, you've just reduced your stress a few notches. Helps elevate mood. There's nothing like having someone funny around to cheer you up. Instead of your emotions spiraling into negativity, a good laugh will lift your spirits and your mood. When you're feeling really, really sad, how about trying binge-watching funny movies? See if that lifts your spirits. You shouldn't watch sad movies when you're feeling down, as that will only depress you even more. Or, how about calling your friends funny and bonding with them over dinner or something? Surrounding yourself with funny people in dark times is guaranteed to help you see life in a more positive light. Bringing people together. There's something really special about people with funny bones. Not only do they make a room full of people feel better about themselves, but they can also help bring people closer together. When you're surrounded by happy, laughing people, your thoughts tend to shift from negative to positive. You suddenly feel lighter and are able to put your problems out of your mind. Shared laughter helps you maintain positive relationships with the people around you. Laughing together about something brings people together. However, be careful not to laugh at someone else's expense. Jokes that hurt other people are never pleasant, as they destroy relationships rather than strengthen them. Helps diffuse tension and conflict. Humor can help diffuse tension in a room full of heated people. When people are ready to come to blows, a well-timed joke can make people burst into laughter. It takes a special kind of person to pull it off, but if you do, people will see you as a hero and thank you for your intervention. Humor can make people see the conflict or problem in a different light. You can use humor to get your point across. But be careful not to offend anyone. If you don't think it through, humor can backfire. Instead of diffusing the conflict, you'll make things worse. And that's something you should avoid at all costs. Helps you see things from a different perspective. Positive humor is great for making you take a step back and look for another angle to whatever problem or challenge you're facing at the time. It's kind of like asking yourself, what's the joke, or what's the catch? When you have that kind of mindset, you're more likely to overcome your negative emotions very quickly. Sure, you may feel hurt and disappointed, you're human, after all, but you don't let the negativity get to you. Instead, you use your humor to get out of your rut and try to find a way out. Encourages creativity. Negativity stifles creativity. To be creative, you have to think differently and explore. You can't do that if you view your craft or career with a negative attitude. However, if you think positively and apply a little humor to your situation, you can awaken the creativity within you. As you've learned before, humor helps you see things differently. When you don't take things too seriously, you can let your mind wander and play a little. Before you know it, you'll have thought of something creative. Something that will allow more positivity into your life. Makes you more resistant. Resilient people are able to smile no matter what affects them. Whether it is a natural or man-made disaster, resilient people can cope. This is because they can see beyond the darkness. They know that pain is temporary and fleeting. And that's why they are often seen to keep smiling and laughing even through the tears. Being positive and having a sense of humor helps loosen those tight knots in your shoulders. It makes you feel relaxed and helps you keep problems at bay. This is what differentiates positive and resilient people from those who let all the negativity get to them. Chapter 7: The Health Benefits of Positive Thinking. A healthy attitude is contagious, but don't wait to catch it from others. Be a carrier. Tom Stoppard. Positive people tend to lead healthy lives, they don't dwell on the negative. Instead, they look beyond the negativity and focus on the positive side of things. If they don't see the light right away, they don't lose hope, they know it's just around the corner. Their optimism is contagious, and they simply don't know how to give up. If you have spent a significant amount of time with people who think positively all the time, then you know that they live a different lifestyle than negative thinking individuals. For example, positive thinkers are less likely to engage in self-destructive behavior. They have the discipline to not harm their body because, if they do, they will not achieve their dreams. Positive people always look to the future. They are not going to compromise their success by getting drunk every time something goes terribly wrong. They are not going to wallow in disappointment. No, that's something negative thinkers do. Positive thinking is more than just a mental thing, it encompasses your whole being and affects not only you, but also the people around you. In this chapter, you're going to learn about the health benefits of maintaining a positive attitude. Here are some of them. Improved immunity against heart disease. Everyone gets stressed from time to time, even the most positive people. However, it is those who think negatively who have difficulty overcoming all the negativity. They let stress get to them, affect their mind and body. When you're always anxious, your heart has to work doubly hard. The good news is that by adding more positivity to your life, you can ease the pressure on your heart and help reduce your risk of strokes and heart attacks. When you think good thoughts, you are more motivated to eat healthy foods and exercise more regularly. All of this contributes to improved immunity against heart disease. Better resistance to depression. Depression is a serious illness. If left untreated, it can lead an individual to commit self-destructive behavior. In some cases, depression leads to suicidal thoughts and, yes, even suicide. People who feel depressed usually feel they have no one else to turn to. Their minds are consumed by negativity, and it permeates their thoughts, emotions, behavior, and overall physical health. Positive thinkers, on the other hand, are better equipped to resist depression. They are able to deal with problems in a more positive way. Yes, they may feel down or even depressed for a while, but their positive nature will always pull them out of a rut. They will actively look for the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. They will not stay in the dark tunnel, too scared to move and too intimidated to ask for help. Helps delay the effects of aging. When you're a positive thinker, you understand the importance of having a healthy body and you do whatever it takes to make sure you're healthy. You eat the right foods and stay away from junk. You exercise regularly, but at the same time you are very careful not to damage your body with too much exercise. With a healthy diet and exercise, your skin will also inevitably look healthy. Having healthy skin also makes you look younger, which is ultimately great for your self-esteem. It is natural for older people to experience a significant decrease in mobility and ability to function. However, research has shown that those over 60 with negative thinking are more likely to have mobility and functional problems. This basically means that positively thinking seniors experience a delay in the effects of aging. Improved coping skills when under stress. Can you imagine a life without stress? Without problems? No? I think so too. Since time immemorial, human beings have suffered from various challenges and difficulties. Even in this day and age where technology makes life easier than ever, there is no avoiding the endless parade of headache-inducing problems. That said, negative thinkers would be more likely to feel sorry for themselves. With every challenge and every failure that comes their way, they are more likely to sink deeper into the hole they have dug for themselves. They will find it difficult to find a way out. Positive thinkers, on the other hand, are much better at coping with stress. Problems? They would look for a solution to the problem. They would look for other ways to approach a particular task in order to succeed. They will stand up for themselves. They will not let darkness and negativity take over their minds. Increased service life. Positive people are some of the happiest people in the world. The world is far from perfect, but they certainly know how to live their lives. Even when faced with overwhelming challenges, they don't give up. On the contrary, they look for ways to turn a negative and unhappy situation into a positive one. With positive thinking, you achieve greater resilience and immunity against the common cold and even cardiovascular disease. You don't let yourself be affected by excessive stress. You know exactly how to take care of your body. You get rid of negative, self-destructive habits and acquire positive habits along the way. Ultimately, all of this leads to an increase in positive thinking people's lives. Chapter 8. Strive for excellence, not perfection. Perfectionism rarely breeds perfection or satisfaction, only disappointment. Ryan Holiday. Aspiring to perfection is like aspiring to something impossible. In life, perfection rarely, if ever, happens. First of all, a perfect state is not final, the goalposts are always moving. What may be perfect for you today may not be perfect for you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And what seems perfect to you may seem mediocre to others. In short, perfection is practically impossible. However, aspiring or striving for excellence is an entirely different matter. In your mind, perfect doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try your best. You're thinking positive, and the good thing is that when you think that way, you know you can always do better, and you can always raise the bar. You may not know what the upper limit is, but you'll keep pushing towards it because that's what you do when you're striving for excellence. With perfectionism, you set the bar too high by default. So when you don't achieve it, you feel bad, you feel demoralized, and you feel like the world is coming down on you. Trying to be perfect is an impossible task. What's worse is that, without knowing it, you are setting yourself up for failure many times over. No matter how many times you try, you're climbing up a steep, slippery slope with no end in sight. Here are some ways to overcome perfectionism and, instead, do your best to be excellent at what you do. Focus on what really matters. When you strive for perfection, you make your goals so unrealistic that you can never achieve them. No matter how many times you try, you will never be satisfied with the results. Think of it this way: if you were trying to launch an online business and you wanted it to be perfect, do you think you would ever get your website launched? You'd be so focused on perfecting every little detail that nothing would ever get done. If you pay someone else to build your site, you'll never be happy with their work, you'll basically be dabbling your way to failure. If you want to succeed, you'll have to launch your business whether you think you're ready or not. You must have a plan in place, a workable timeline of when your business should launch. Once your business is up and running, you can work on changes and improvements as you go along. At the very least, you have successfully launched your business and have not failed big time because you have not focused on making it perfect. Look at things from another angle. If you find it difficult to overcome your perfectionism, try to think about what will happen if you don't achieve your goals. Are you going to be happy with yourself? Are you going to reward yourself? I don't think so. Think of another more realistic goal and break it down into several milestones. When you achieve the first milestone, think about how you can achieve the next one, and so on. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you meet the milestones. Notice the progress you make when you look at things from a different point of view. Control your inner critical voice. When you set out to be perfect at something, you can literally hear an annoying voice in the back of your head. You'll hear it say a lot of negative things about what you're doing. For example, it may tell you that you have to do things perfectly or else no one will like you anymore, everyone will hate you. Or that if you don't do your task perfectly, someone else will take your place and you will no longer be the brightest and most popular person in your organization. When your inner voice spouts all that negative nonsense, you have to stop listening to it. Otherwise, you could end up stressed, anxious, nervous, and even depressed. Deep down you know you can never be perfect, so why would you listen to your inner critic? Think positive thoughts, think about tackling things one at a time and do your best each time. Believe me, you'll end up much happier with this kind of thinking, and you'll motivate yourself to put one foot in front of the other. Reward yourself for every small victory and accomplishment. When you strive for perfection, you will never experience the reward for a job well done because you will never achieve what you set out to do. On the other hand, if you strive for excellence, you will have many opportunities to reward yourself. Having a reward system has many benefits. You feel more motivated and you feel more inspired to continue on your journey. However, if you don't achieve your goals right away, you can still reward yourself. How? By rewarding yourself for your effort, for trying, for doing your best. You should always remind yourself to think positive. Thanks to your efforts, you are now closer to achieving your goals. Focus on doing something positive. When you become so obsessed with trying to be perfect, you end up doing nothing at all. This is what's known as paralysis by analysis. You're analyzing every little thing. You're constantly worrying about little details that, in the long run, won't have any impact on your goals. For example, if we go back to the online business example, if you're constantly worrying about fonts, font sizes, colors, background images, logo size, and things like that, then it doesn't get you any closer to launching your business, does it? Who knows if tomorrow you might think that a different color would look good with that new background photo you just found today. You'd end up undoing all the work you've done the day before. When you focus on doing some positive action, you are pushing yourself to move forward. As long as you do something that brings you closer to achieving your dreams, that's a positive thing. You can always improve later, but the point is that at least you're doing something and not stuck in overthinking mode. Chapter 9: Visualization and its role in success. I believe that visualization is one of the most powerful means of achieving personal goals. Harvey Mackay. If you want to achieve something in life, you have to have goals and dreams. Once you have identified what you want, you have to plan the steps you need to take to get there. You need to write down a specific action plan on how you intend to reach your goal. If you have a longer-term goal that is larger than life, you need to break it down into 1-year goals, 2-year goals, 3-year goals, and so on, until you reach the desired endpoint. Writing your goals down on paper is all well and good, but you also have to visualize them to bring them to life. Here's an example: if you want to become a successful entrepreneur in 5 years, you need to define what you mean by success. Would you say you are successful if you have built 1 store in your location, or would you only consider yourself successful if you have 20 stores in 5 years? If you choose the latter, you need to have a concrete timeline in mind. The first year, how many stores will you have? The second year, how many more stores will you add? And so on. Planning all this is fine, but you'll take your planning to a whole different level if you visualize your goal. How about commissioning an artist to draw what your store will look like and put it on the wall? In a place you walk by every day, so it reminds you of what you want to achieve in the long run. How about next to your bed? Or in other high-traffic areas of your home and office? You can even have a custom map of where you plan to have your stores, the cities and towns where you plan to build a store and what each store will look like. It probably sounds like a lot of expense right now, especially if you're just starting out, but if you can see your dreams every day, all 20 stores, it will motivate you not to stop. Here are some more benefits of visualizing your dreams. Helps motivate you. If you really want to achieve your dreams and you see your dreams represented every day, then you will be motivated to keep going for it. On days when you feel sad or upset, you can look at a picture of what you are working so hard for. Then think about how you will feel when you finally achieve it, when all your hard work has paid off. You will feel vindicated in the face of all the negative people who told you that you could never achieve your dream. Can you imagine how good you will feel? You'll once again feel inspired to continue what you're doing, and you'll tell yourself that you'll keep working hard for your dreams. There is no limit to what you can do. You are quite free to pursue any dream or goal you want. Do you want to become a wealthy entrepreneur before you turn 30? Do you want to take your parents around the world on their golden wedding anniversary? Or how about taking your partner on a second honeymoon this time next year? When you read the above paragraph, did you have a mental picture of the scenarios I painted? I bet you did. See, there's practically no limit to what you can do and what you can dream. The moment you visualize your dreams, the more motivated you are to go for them. Helps reduce stress. Looking at something you want so badly makes you happy, doesn't it? You feel inspired. You feel motivated. You feel more positive about your life and you tend to push negative thoughts out of your mind. When you feel this way, you are literally reducing your stress levels. Another visualization technique that will help you feel less stressed is to imagine you're on an island, if that's your thing. You're lying on the beach and marveling at the sound of the waves and the birds. All your worries are blown away by the wind. Do this for a few minutes. When you open your eyes, you'll feel so much better. Helps improve your positive thinking. When you visualize your dreams, you think about what the future holds. You think positively about it. Otherwise, you won't take the time to visualize your dreams. As time goes on, you start adding more details to your visualizations. If you have a mental image of being a successful entrepreneur years from now, you can begin to visualize the process of how you can get there. Over time, as you get closer to achieving your dreams, you start to think about how your life and your family's life will change. How you can spend more time with your family, and where you are going to spend those extra days with them. That kind of positive thinking will do nothing but motivate you to pursue your dreams. Helps you focus on important issues. You should only visualize what is really important to you. There is no need to visualize things that will not contribute to achieving your dreams. You can easily eliminate all forms of negativity when you visualize your dreams. Now, it is very easy for your imagination to go off on a tangent, but if you have a physical image of what you want to achieve, you will find it easier to focus. That's why you should consider having a printout, a drawing, a picture or something similar of your dreams. It allows you to focus on what really matters and what is worth pursuing. Chapter 10. Spread your positivity. You have to be the kind of person who generates positive energy and avoids negative energy, rather than fortifies it. Stephen Covey. In a perfect world, only positive things would happen. We would have only positive emotions and thoughts. But, unfortunately, this is not what we experience in this life. There are many positive thinkers in this world. However, the sad reality is that negative thinkers outnumber them. Think about your family and friends. Would you say that you have more positive thinking friends or that you have more negative thinkers in your circle? If you are surrounded by positive people, that's very good for you. However, if you're like most people, you'll be surrounded by negative thinkers. People who doubt themselves all the time, people who are so pessimistic that they can never see the positive side of things, people who try to bring everyone down with them. Throughout this course, you have learned the many wonderful benefits of positive thinking. In this chapter, you are going to learn how you can slowly but surely help others overcome their negativity. Delivering what is said. If you want to share your positivity with the world around you, you'd better act like you're a genuinely positive person. You have to lead by example, so to speak. You can't have positive things come out of your mouth when you're in front of people, and the moment they turn their backs on you, or when there's no one around to see, then you become negative. You don't fool those people, you only fool yourself. Use positive words when talking to people. Some people have a way with words. Unfortunately, most of us do not. We can be awkward in social situations or not think things through before blurting something out in public. To spread some positivity, you'll have to be careful what kind of words you say. You don't have to have a silver tongue, you just have to know how to distinguish between positive and negative words. Words have power. When you speak, remember to use positive words. Give constructive feedback. Too many people are quick to give negative feedback when the occasion calls for it. In some cases, such feedback may be justified. However, for the sake of positivity, try to give constructive feedback. Instead of pointing out only what's wrong, mention the good points as well. When you point out mistakes, you can tell them how they can improve to do a better job next time. If you give this kind of feedback, the other person won't feel so bad and will appreciate your input. Thank and be thankful. Every little positive thing you do counts. You may not know the person behind the counter at your favorite fast food restaurant, but chances are customers rarely say thank you. The sad thing is, most of the time, we take others for granted. So, when you take the time to thank someone who has helped you in some way, you are making that person feel better about themselves. Who knows, you might even make their day. Avoid blame shifting. It's very easy to play the blame game. You can point fingers all you want, but is that really going to help the situation? If you start a fight, is that going to help finish the project or pay the bills? How about calming down a bit and thinking about how you can help solve the problem? The person behind the mess may already feel bad about it, there's no need to add negativity to it. Point out the positive in a negative situation. Optimists always look for the bright side of things. Because no matter how bad life gets, there will always be something positive waiting on the other side. It's like seeing the rainbow after the rain. In negative situations, most people around you will probably react negatively. They will think the worst. As a positive person, what you have to do is point out the positives no matter how far away or impossible they may seem at that particular moment. Focus on finding solutions. A negative thinker will only get more problems. What you can do is give helpful suggestions on how a problem can be solved. Just like the blame game, nothing good will happen if all you can think about is why something shouldn't be done. Think of positive ways to move forward, that's what a true positive thinker does. Be excited about what the future holds for you. Most negative thinkers think of a bleak future. Sure, they may also have dreams, but the moment something bad happens, all their hopes and dreams collapse. A positive thinker, on the other hand, will never stop pursuing their dreams. They may get derailed, but they will always find another way to get up and go after what they want in life. Your enthusiasm for the future can be contagious. You don't need to share it with everyone through social media, but it's always a good idea to let your loved ones know. Smile and be friendly. Smiling and being kind to other people is always a good idea, especially if you know that person can benefit from it. You can make it a habit to do something kind for people, whether they are your friends or complete strangers. The point is that you'll be spreading some positivity your way, and that person may even return it by being kind to other people. When you're feeling down, keep smiling and being kind to others. You'll soon forget you were sad. Doing something positive for others will help you feel better in no time. Be a good listener. There comes a time when our patience wears thin, and the only way to feel better is to vent. When a loved one feels the need to vent or rant, just listen to them. Nod your head at appropriate times or something every now and then so that he or she knows you are really listening and not thinking about how you can get out of it. Show that person that you care. You don't have to agree with what he or she says, but the fact that you took the time to listen will make that person feel much better afterwards. Are you ready to start using the amazing power of positive thinking? A positive attitude can get you where you want to be in life. You can go after your dreams, you can achieve lasting happiness and fulfillment through the power of positive thinking. With positivity, you are not limited to living your life in a box or in your comfort zone. You're not afraid to fail. In fact, you embrace it because you know it will help you tremendously in the long run. You're not afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you know it's the only way to move forward and upward in life. Positive thinking can open many doors for you, and if you share your positivity with the world, you can even make the world a little better, one person at a time.